So let's talk a little bit about the 36 questions. If you've gone on in front of this page in your module, you may have already read the essay or listened to the audio version of the essay, and you may have even looked over the questions that are listed in the extra credit assignment, and that's great. But there are a few things about the 36 questions that I wanted to share with you. I had hoped to do this in Panopto so you can see both me and the mini PowerPoint that I have. And Panopto is not working in my Canvas today. I don't know why. I can't seem to record there. So I'm just going to do this the old-fashioned way with a little YouTube where you can see me, which is not exciting at all. And then also a link. I'll put the PowerPoint there. And the reason I'm doing that is because there's a link in the PowerPoint to a Big Bang episode that I would like you to see. So you're going to be seeing me here, but there's not much to see because I'm going to be looking at my PowerPoint on my computer. So you may just want to listen to me and not look at me at all. That's probably a really good thing for y'all to do all the time, possibly. So a little history. Back in 2015, a writer by the name of Mandy Catron wrote an essay, the one I've provided you the link for, in the New York Times Modern Love section. This is a place where people write in true stories in very creative ways. You can even listen to these on podcast if you're interested. Anyway, she wrote this essay and it just went viral. If you were to go to Google right now and put in the words 36 questions, you would find hit after hit after hit. This just went crazy. People really latched onto this, went viral. It went so viral that Big Bang did an episode where they talked about the 36 questions. And in the PowerPoint that I'm attaching for you, you can play that link to a Big Bang. It's not the whole episode. It's just the piece with that 4-minute gaze that we're going to talk about in a moment. Now I said gaze, G-A-Z-E. We're going to talk about that in a second, but they had that scene with Penny and Sheldon. If you watch Big Bang, you may not, but if you do, it's kind of an interesting thing to watch. And it went crazy. It went crazy. But for me, what's interesting is how it went crazy and why. And that is because the original study that started all of this in 2015 came out in 1997 when a researcher by the name of Dr. Arthur Aaron and his team wanted to look at the possibility of creating closeness between strangers in an experimental context, right? They didn't design this to see if these 36 questions can find love. When Mandy wrote this article, this was her way of taking that research and doing her own experiment with it. But this was not the researchers' ideas at all. The study itself is very complex. And I'm going to put a link to the study for you underneath the link to my little PowerPoint. If you want to read it, it's really interesting. They looked at things, all kinds of things. They did this study in 3 different ways. They talked about adult attachment styles. That was one variable that they looked at. Another variable was extroverts and introvert dynamics. And there were many more. This is a very, very complicated study. It's not as simple as they make it sound when you see all these people talking about the 36 questions. The 36 questions are interesting. You can see them on the list. What's most interesting to me about this, though, is this idea of a 4-minute gaze. So a prolonged 4-minute eye contact, you and another person, that's a long time. 4 minutes is a long time. When I lecture in a main classroom, I like to have my students do this with each other, strangers, not the whole 36 question part. We don't have time for that in a classroom, but for just that 4-minute gaze, and it's awkward, it's uncomfortable. That's okay. Sometimes uncomfortable is good. But anyway, so from this sort of obscure 1997 research article to crazy viralness that had nothing to do with finding a mate or finding love, it had nothing to do with it. So just a few more thoughts before I wrap up here. Although this study was not about finding love, I think it's interesting because I think it is a great exercise for deepening relationships. And I think you could use it for maintaining relationships at the level you want it to be at. These are called maintenance behaviors. So I've been trying to think about different ways that people might use the 36 questions, even if they're not trying to get to know someone better or to find love, right? So my husband and I, sometimes we go on date nights, and lately I've been making him pull a question that I've cut up, these 36 questions put in a bag, and I'll be like, pull a question. And we will both answer it. Instead of going through the 36 questions in 45 minutes and then taking turns with them, we each have to answer the same question. It's kind of fun. I got to thinking about individuals who are deployed. My son was in the Army. I am a veteran also. And we know that our veterans are often deployed and away from their families for long times. And I was thinking that perhaps sharing these questions on a Skype call or something, maybe one each time you talk or one a month or something, might be a way to maintain, but also to continue to develop that closeness when you're so far away. So I thought about date night, and I thought about long distance relationships. There's so many places you could do this, and you'll see an extra credit what I'm asking you to do. Careful there. Don't be like springing this on somebody you've been looking at across the classroom all semester, or maybe you do, and that's okay. Just remember to be respectful and kind, and don't get your hopes up. Yeah, so 36 questions. Develop closeness, find love, whatever that may be. Give it a shot. I hope you'll like it. 20 points of extra credit is a lot of extra credit. This is basically an additional discussion post I have added in, not a discussion post, but kind of a discussion post you're just not sharing with other people to read others. So good luck with it. Talk to you soon. Bye.